and gentlemen, welcome to another Rev and Filo show. So the question was, would you fuck a robot? I mean, in Westworld, they're pretty much like as fluid as a human being. So like, there's almost like no difference.
I think they might already.
They're already doing it, man.
Yeah, with virtual brothels, because they just invented.
No, Whitney Cummings, that comedian chick.
Yeah.
There's a sex doll of her out.
Well, so here's why I was bringing. So after we had that conversation, I was listening to the Stern show, and they were talking about.
She brought him on, right?
Well, no, they were saying how there's a company that you can buy a sex robot for $30,000, and it can
make it up an actress or someone you like.
Well, that's it.
30 G's. It maintains a body temperature of 98 degrees, which is the temperature of like a healthy human being, right?
Yeah.
It simulates orgasm.
Ooh, that's
you can simulate like an orgasm.
Like
you could give
vaginal
it an
contraction?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like.
Well, you never gave anybody an orgasm?
Guess not. I never heard anyone say it in that.
I know, yeah. That then again too, yeah.
Like,
well, it's just the correct term to say it in. Anyway.
Oh, is that it? Oh, thank you, Dr. Phil. And oh god,
vaginal contractions.
It's so wet.
Evasive maneuvers.
It's so slick.
Vaginal contraction.
Put your mask back on.
Everything's all slippery.
Keep your mask on.
That's an order. Put your mask back on.
So stupid.
Anyway, you were saying.
It can simulate an orgasm, vaginal contractions, as you so eloquently put it. And I guess it must be an AI because, like, based on how you interact with it, it'll program itself to pretty much want to whatever, like.
Yeah, and I think
desire.
there's a few of them that they're trying to program to also like give consent. Like they can tell you like,
yeah,
nah,
I heard that on the
Friday
Friday and Frank show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like having sex with robots is kind of like almost like interracial relationships back in like the 50s and the 40s where it was like
I won't do it till it's socially acceptable.
Right, because it's like well, that ain't right. That ain't
you
natural,
got robo fever.
So I feel like would you what if Ethan, your son, came home and was dating a robot?
Well, okay. Once Ethan
sounds ridiculous.
Well, it sounds ridiculous, but hold on.
Once he's our age, totally fine. It's gonna be totally fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
how far developed is this gonna be?
Just as like Westworld, as fluid as any human being.
She has a personality, or she can talk.
I mean, yeah.
If a woman could use a vibrator with fucking batteries, and I could fuck a robot.
All right, I'm just saying. I thought that you guys would be more kind of like, that's kind of weird. You know
honestly, nowadays,
it's Hollywood, baby.
I know how we're
nowadays. I feel like.
I mean, I don't know.
Anything goes, man.
I think Ashley might. Ashley might feel a little weird about it.
She's a little bit more traditional. Yeah. She's not too big on the robot scene.
For me, I feel I'm more, hey, you know,
open-minded.
Yeah, if you're happy, fuck it.
You never seen
Ex Machina? What if it's not like as fluid? What if it's like a hello, my name is girlfriend 3000?
Then I'd be a little weird. Then I'd kind of be like, what's up with you?
Kind of got a little bit more turned down when you did that.
Oh really?
Oh shit.
Well, I never saw it, but there was that movie Her, where he falls in love with like this AI voice.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so the last week when my phone broke, right, and the button came off of my iPhone, so I
started falling in love with Siri.
Well, no, I had to use Siri way more, like Siri, this and that, and like I did start to feel like kind of closer to her. The more I talked to her, I did start to feel a little like, man, Siri's really getting me through this tough time, of not being able to.
I don't know what I did without you, Siri. And you went in for the kiss?
Nah.
Nah.
You didn't make a move?
I didn't make a move. I was too shy, dude. She has such a
Good. You remember you have to ask now.
Of course. I always remember that.
Nah, but I don't know. They also are like, aside from like AI robots, there's also going to be like virtual fucking brothels and like virtual. Like,
what do you mean, like?
So they just came out with in this past. And hold on.
Wait. I don't know what. I think I saw it on somewhere where it was like, what the hell's going on in Japan? And it was like a game show where it's like these guys and they're on their backs and they have VR goggles on, like the Oculus.
Yeah.
Or
See,
whatever.
that's what I'm talking about.
And it's like this machine. It's not even like it's not even shapedly like a woman or anything. It's just like this machine that's like jackhammering on their like on their fucking dick. And
So
I guess it has like a vagina.
So what's going on there is
like,
yeah. So what's going on there? They have a pocket pussy
Right.
That's attached to like this hydraulic machine that's attached to the virtual glasses or reality headset, and then so whatever movement they're doing, so they're essentially watching a porno. But whatever movement the girl's doing or riding or whatever it is, that machine is recreating the motion.
Oh,
so
really?
that's what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're fucked as human beings. Like
that's what I was gonna
fucking
continue on to say is
man.
that
I mean, artificial intelligence is the next evolutionary step, they say.
Well, in Las Vegas, you know how they always have the tech convention, and I
Yes.
think it just passed last weekend or 2 weekends ago. They came out with the prototype of with the skin that you can attach, like kind of like gloves, but it's like thin almost, and you connect it to your virtual reality headset, and you can feel things now. So you can like so it'll help you like pick things up, and it'll give you like the pressure and like the sense of you holding like.
And this is if you
stuff.
like if you're
So
if you're like a paraplegic or a quadriplegic.
No, so they want to use it for like video games, you know, like so you can feel the depth of a gun.
I thought use it for good. Use it for video games.
You know,
But, like,
but they
what's the
said that
point?
the
What's
potential
the-
the potential for it is for people to meet virtually, you know, around the world, and you could essentially have these like virtual brothels, and like now like with that skin you could
you could essentially have sex with someone
over the internet.
Over the internet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You ever
But,
seen
like,
the movie
why, though?
Surrogates? You ever seen Surrogates with Bruce
I
Willis?
never seen it. I heard it, but never seen it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's the one where they get into like shells, right? Like it's
like
almost
a
like
full body.
because they're
could-
getting
Well, yeah,
older.
they like sit in a chair and then they
Yeah.
have like a robot
it
avatar.
uses,
They could be
like-
whatever they
it
want,
uses
yeah.
like the brain. You could actually feel, just a full body.
Well, no.
like your
Well,
AI's
that
out
movie,
there.
the plot of that movie was that there was no consequences because you didn't feel anything, and
No,
then
you
somebody
can't.
hacked their system where they were able to kill these guys, people that were in the surrogate bodies. That's
No,
why
that
he
was with,
that's
like,
why he
the-
was trying to figure out what the hell was.
No,
going
they had
on.
like a machine that
Yeah.
destroyed
yeah.
the user.
Well, without giving
but they were
anything
still
away,
able to. They were
the-
still able to feel though.
No, I think you can't feel. You don't feel pain.
No, they had. Okay, yeah, you
That's
don't feel
why.
pain.
That's the whole thing was.
Oh,
is
okay,
that
yeah,
'cause
yeah, yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
acting
you're
like superheroes and
Because
shit.
I remember watching it and they had this one
okay.
part where they
But like,
were
how do you die? How do you age?
You
like,
you just
in
age
your
and then you
chair?
die. Yeah, you age
your
and you
actual
die.
body. Yeah.
okay.
You
Some
never
people
leave the
choose
house.
to do it. Some people choose not to.
Yeah.
So that was
It's
the
a
whole
trip.
thing.
It's a
Yeah.
trip. I like sci-fi, so I liked it.
Yeah, it's just like this whole. I think we're in this whole like
Fucked era.
Where not
We're boned.
necessarily where we're fucked. I
we
mean, like,
suck.
no, where it's just like
We're
what
horrible
is,
humans.
Like consciousness and like if you know what I mean. Like what is
I mean,
and like can you like if you could transfer your consciousness, you know, you're like you being aware and being self-aware. If you could transfer it to like another body or to like
would you do it?
a robot, would you do it and like live forever?
You need consent.
I don't know.
I don't think living forever is really what people want. I'll tell you why. I was with my grandpa the other day, and he was like making a joke. He's gonna be 90, right? And he made a joke, and he goes, "You know, I was at the doctor the other day, my cardiologist, and he goes, you know, I've been with the guy for like whatever, like 8 or 9 years, and he goes, hey doc,
Oh, chum.
he goes, when am I gonna die? Like,
Oh shit.
and he goes, what do you mean? And the doctor goes, what do you mean? And he goes, I mean, everybody I know is like dead already. Like everybody's dead. Everybody I know. He goes, even people who are younger than me who I know, they're all gone. They're all dead. He goes, like when is it gonna be my turn? You know?
Yeah.
And the doctor goes, Mr. Don, I'm not gonna let you go anywhere. I'm not gonna let you die yet. I'm not gonna let that happen. And my grandpa goes, come on. He goes, come on, man, Jesus.
Cut me some slack.
Yeah,
here.
he's like,
Cut me some
Jesus.
slack,
And
Jake.
like, I know he was being funny, and it was pretty funny. It was also kind of like cryptic. Like, I didn't like it, but I know he was making a joke.
But
like,
if we could exchange our,
you know, my grandpa
consciousness-
at 90, he doesn't even look like he's tripping on it. He's just
Yeah.
like, whatevs, you know?
he's accepted. I mean, well, if all your friends are gone, and
I guess so, huh?
yeah, but I mean, he still has his family.
But I
So
wonder if, like, if he had the option, would he do it? Probably not, because he's from like, you know, I wonder what he thinks about like what's gonna happen. Like, what does he think? Like, when are you gonna die? Is he religious?
Ask him.
Seems like a deep question. Like, is he religious, or is he kind of like accepted that, you know, shit just happens, and there really is no grand scheme?
It just goes black.
He just fucking shut down like the computer. That's it.
But didn't you say, Mike, the best thing we're gonna do in life?
Yeah, it's the best thing any of us are ever gonna do.
If we could exchange consciousness, though.
Yeah, that's that whole game, the Swappers.
Yeah,
but that's the whole concept of that. Is like switching your consciousness, and like, if your body doesn't really matter, then what is consciousness if it's not, you know, a tangible product?
But so just thinking of it from a different perspective, if you could do that, if we could exchange consciousness, and everyone could do it, I mean, I guess no one would care if you died, because your friends would be around if it was normal to.
Life would lose its value if you lived forever, I guess, right?
Yeah. Huh. I don't know.
Maybe that's what gives like life meaning, is that you're gonna die one day, so you gotta make the best. You gotta make most of your time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, like watching movies. Like 1917, that was a badass movie.
That was a good movie. That movie, honestly, that movie kind of got me, because like it kind of got me into thinking like, man, I really want to start coming to the movies again, because I don't really go to the movies anymore. And like I feel like movies are subpar to like shows that come out on TV, like HBO or fucking
particularly
Netflix,
that movie,
bomb ass like Netflix, what's a good Netflix show? Zodiac or fucking Watchmen.
Yeah, but
Chernobyl.
That movie in particular, though, the way it's shot,
1917.
1917. The way it's shot, it really makes you feel like you're right behind the soldiers, like you're right there with them.
It's one. Well, it's made to look like it's one continuous shot. Yeah, and that's what I thought too.
We're with them, man.
Is like
we were there.
It's like, yeah, it was like, you're pretty much seeing what the soldiers see. Because like what was cool is like a lot of times the camera would be following the soldier, and then they would refer to something off camera. Oh, look, they destroyed all their guns. Or like, oh, look at that over there. But you would never see it. The camera would never pan to. Sometimes there were certain times where they would just refer to things.
Yeah.
But the camera stayed on the shoulder. The camera stayed on the shoulders. The soldiers pretty much the whole time. Aside from a couple, like, man, that was a crazy movie.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. What else is on Best Picture? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know if it should win Best Picture, but I do think Leo and Brad were really good. And particularly Leo. But Leo's always good.
Haven't seen the other ones, but 1917 should win Best Picture. That one was good.
That one was good. That was like, in terms of like movie making, that was definitely like, wow, that was quite a feat. Because you know what I was thinking? There's a beginning scene with the whole continuous shot thing. In the beginning, it starts with them in the trenches, right? And they're walking through the trenches. And
don't give anything away.
No, I'm not giving anything away. I'm just sort of giving the intro. And then it's World War I, so they're doing trench warfare. So it starts with the two main characters, and they get called to go to a mission. They got to go check in with their commanding officer, right? So there's this whole scene of them going through the trenches, right? And they're just walking through the trenches for like 10 minutes. And it's like,
that's right, and it's just all conversation.
And it's all conversation, and the camera never cuts the whole time.
You know what's weird? How it doesn't lose your attention, because I don't know, maybe because the camera's kind of rotating.
What I was wondering was like, they were walking to the trenches for a while, and I was like, how did they do this? Like, I thought maybe like they just built like one circular trench, and they just went in circles, and like every time
soldiers.
Yeah, like every time there would be a part of the set that would get off camera, they would just reset to like a new cast of people, so that it looked like they were going to different places in the trenches, but really they were just walking in circle. Yeah. I don't know if that's how they did it, but I'm like, man, if they did it like that, that's such a cool way to
they
shoot
went like left and right.
So they made it seem though that's the way it looked. Yeah. But did they really dig like miles of trench?
There was a couple times. I don't know if you remember this, Mike, though. You did trip me out, because there was time especially in the beginning when they're walking through the trenches, you were like laughing. I don't know what it was, but I kept looking like, what the fuck is this guy laughing at? And I was trying to find out like if you were laughing at any of the soldiers.
I was laughing at fucking content they were saying.
Oh, no, that I get. But there was times where like they weren't saying anything and they just were walking through the trenches. There was times of I don't know. Maybe I guess it was just delayed.
I think you're hearing shit.
I don't know. Whatever. I guess.
Because I remember, I forgot what the joke was, but I was me and then some other guy laughed. I remember hearing just one other person laugh at one of the jokes that they.
Particularly funny parts of that movie.
There was
there was
there was like two or three funny.
Oh,
parts.
I know what it was. No, you laughed at that part, but
after they witnessed the dogfight, it pretty much seemed like a tragedy from that point on to the end.
Yeah.
Because there was one part where I don't remember the part where the other guy laughed. But there was one part where he was holding the chain and then he cuts himself.
Oh yeah.
And then his buddy was like, "Oh, just have it a wrap and then you have a wink. You'll have a wink again."
Yeah, no, he goes, he like cuts his hand and then
just give it a wrap. You'll have a wink again soon.
He'll be wanking away in no time. And he goes wrong, and he goes wrong hand. And messed up his left hand. Guess he was righty. Those damn Brits, dude. So damn funny.
But there was one other time I remember laughing and I remember hearing one other guy laugh. I thought it was.
There wasn't too many jokes in that movie, but I guess the ones they did have did land. But
not to everyone, but they snuck in there.
I'm surprised Ethan fucking sat through that movie.
I thought he was gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I didn't look his way.
It was a action-packed movie. It had like a big score, so there was a lot.
There was a lot of scenes in between.
I wonder
it was just talking.
if like,
there wasn't like a dull moment. It was just like, straightforward because they were on a mission. He had like 12 hours. He had more than 12 hours. He had like a day to get to his brother.
Yeah, that movie was dope. It was funny how like
straight mission.
I feel like there's because remember like in the 90s and like the 2000s there was all kinds of World War II movies, and I feel like
not
now,
World War II, just war movies.
Like World War II. Like
I remember Black Hawk Down came out too.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like I don't know that this is
Enemy at the Gates.
Enemy at the behind enemy lines.
Yeah, but that's
not World War II.
Not a World War II movie.
But it's still a war movie. I'm saying like just war movie.
It
doesn't have to necessarily be World War II because this wasn't World War II.
War movies. I just watched Saving Private Ryan is the only war movie I like to watch.
What you were trying to say was you think that
now
it's going to usher a year of
World War One now. That's like because like World War One is the lesser like studied war because World War II was such a clusterfuck.
It's fuck.
Yeah, I know, for real. And then how the Germans were just like destroying their own shit.
Well, because they didn't want them to get their
strategic advantage,
cows or anything.
Oh, that's right. Remember there was a scene where they're riding through the dairy farms, and they're like, "Oh, they killed all the cows," and they're like, "Yeah, that way, like we can't even like, eat them or like drink their milk or nothing."
The trees too.
Like they're eliminating all the resources.
That's fucking insane. Science.
Strategic, but it didn't work out for them. They lost.
Ooh, you give me goosebumps.
I mean.
Anyways, anything else?
Speaking of Brits, you guys heard of Megxit?
No. Megxit?
Yeah, the
Prince Harry and Meghan. That actress.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex.
Yeah, right. Harry and that chick, Meghan Markle.
They're deciding to leave. Like, they have it made.
They already left.
They don't want to be part of the royal family anymore.
Canada.
They're going to Canada.
They moved to Canada.
Quebec?
Well, really? Why'd they go to Canada?
Not Quebec. Where is it?
I don't know. I guess just where they wanted to go.
Oh, Canada.
They're going literally on top of Washington, like right there, that part. Like
they said they wanted to be like financially dependent
on themselves.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do for work?
I think she was something because she's Canadian, so she did something over there.
They're going back like a cafe. Or something?
They're going back to her hometown or something.
Oh, okay.
And she had something to do. I don't know. I don't want to take a guess. Like schooling or something. But she had a big job back then.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
back over there.
They announced it. When did they? They pretty much like took attention away from something. I remember.
They didn't ask the Queen or something.
Yeah, they didn't ask the Queen.
And they
pretty much just like came out with.
Yeah, we're just gonna do this.
They're like, we're just gonna do this. So a lot of them were like, well, it's unheard of like for anybody to say anything outside of royalty or in the royal family without the Queen's consent.
What does the royal family even do? I think
they don't do anything.
I think we had this conversation before.
Yeah, they're just filthy rich.
They're just like
I just know
they don't run the government.
They're like celebrities now, dude. That's all it is.
That's crazy. They're like the Kardashians.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like the Kardashians of the British of the UK.
Yeah. I just know that the dude, he looks just like a quarterback from Philadelphia. He goes Carson Wentz.
Oh, does he?
And look at a picture of Carson Wentz. And his mom was Princess Diana.
Did he win the Super Bowl not too long ago?
Yeah.
It's like 2 years ago or last year. Who won last year?
Damn Patriots.
Speaking of Super Bowl, the 49ers are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
Indifferent.
Indifferent? You don't care?
Yeah.
Who are they playing? I don't even know.
The Chiefs. I'm actually going for the Chiefs.
Why?
Because the Niners are in the Rams division and fuck the Niners.
Oh, so they took the Rams out.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. I'm sure Stanley wasn't happy about that.
Oh, yeah. It's a fluke.
Damn.
Like 2 years ago, they didn't sell any tickets.
You know what I don't get? People, I feel like more so than basketball, more so than baseball, people are like so down for their football team. Like they will literally, like there's like, okay, at our job, right?
It's kind of getting annoying, to be honest with you.
Well, like at our job, right?
And I love sports.
Super Bowl people, a lot of people ask for the Super Bowl off, right?
Yeah.
And if you ask for it off and you can't get it off because too many people ask for it already, and you call out, that's grounds for termination usually, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was in the locker room the other day, and there's a kid, I don't know who it was, some usher kid, and I'm getting dressed, and then the guy next to me, who has the locker next to me, he's getting dressed, and then this kid walks in. He's talking to the guy next to me, and he goes, "Hey, I'm calling out for the Super Bowl." And he was like, "Whoa, are you serious?" And he goes, "Yeah, because I couldn't get the day off." So he's like, "Yeah, dude, fuck that, this and that, this." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I looked, and he had a Niner shirt on. And I was like, this dumbass kid, why would he get fired just to watch his favorite team probably lose?
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. I recognize him. I see him around, but I don't know him like that. But I wanted to kind of turn to him and be like, why are you going to do that? That's stupid. That's like what stupid people do.
You said it, he's a kid.
Well, he's not that young. He's probably in his 20s. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm still stupid too.
I just don't get it. Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's like very.
I mean, do you love football that much? Like, you're a football fan.
Well, yeah, and because I'm a football fan, I always know that Super Bowl is the first week of February.
So if the Rams were in the Super Bowl, would you be willing to lose your job to see the game?
Well, if that was
a situation,
if there's a possibility that I was going to work on Super Bowl, I would have asked for it off a month in advance because it's always the first week of February.
But that Super Bowl is always the hardest. No, for sure, I know that, but it always seems like.
But maybe he was a kid waiting to see if his team got in. He wasn't sure,
Then he's
but
fuck
so
him.
what? It's a gamble. That's a better gamble than I'll call out and maybe get fired.
Yeah, because then he could just replace if he doesn't want to watch
exactly.
it. Right? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's almost like a sense of like nationalism or like
it's like, why are you so into?
I'm gonna die for my team.
Yeah, why are you so into something you really kind of did nothing to contribute to other than buy that shirt, which went to the organization.
Give them money.
Yeah.
You really are mad the Rams didn't make the Super Bowl.
No, actually, I'm really not. I don't care.
Can you?
I'm almost over it. All sports in general.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All sports? What about golf?
Well, I don't watch golf.
Golf's awesome. Now that I play golf, I love watching it.
I'm just saying like
major sports.
I love sports. I'm never gonna stop playing basketball if I ever can run again.
Yeah, but you're talking about watching sports.
Watching sports and these corporations, it's horrible. NFL is the most corrupt one.
Yeah, and fucking motherfuckers are getting their fucking brains knocked to hell.
Like that whole fucking MLB thing that's going on.
Oh,
yeah, I don't care. It's fucking horrible.
What's going on right now is the Astros.
Oh yeah, they cheated, right?
Yeah,
and like
cheated. Well, it's still under investigation.
Yeah.
And they're trying to there's new evidence that there might have been a player who was using like
a wire
that was connected to his chest
for information, Morse code or whatever.
So here's what they were doing. Every time a pitch came in, the pitcher, the catcher would do his signs and stuff, and then the pitcher chooses okay, I'm gonna.
And most of these signs are universal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. They're signing the back catcher.
Yeah. So then they'll throw it and they throw it. So you'll hear a bang, bang. Okay, that's probably a fastball. Fastball comes in, he swings at it.
Mm-hmm.
Bang, here's curveball, lays off of it. Curveball goes
just
by.
code for pitching.
Yeah, just so that the batter knows. The thing is so I talked to like Francisco about this, and a lot of people do say it's like, okay, this does go on. People do this where like they'll try and catch on to the signs. They'll try and see like.
But if it's work out in the dugout, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
it's part of that's kind of part of the game.
Yeah, like if
but
you can figure out
technology to your advantage to literally just cheat.
Yeah. So what they were doing is
it's
had
a part
somebody
of the game to figure out the pitcher's pattern and what he's doing.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
why they switch pitchers every so often. He's like, oh shit, they figured out your shit. So,
Yeah.
So we'll switch you out. But or they throw too many pitches, or whatever. But that's one of the reasons.
Figured out your shit.
Yeah. They figued you out, Johnny.
You read it like a book, did they?
Oh, you think you got it all figured out? See?
Anyway, the problem with what the Astros did is that they used technology. They had somebody at a monitor.
Astros are from Houston, right?
Yeah.
Man, I have a lot of family from Texas. They're mostly from Dallas and San Antonio. But they're always going for there's no Dallas. Is there a Dallas baseball team? No.
Dallas baseball team, no.
Because my cousins from Dallas, they go for the Mavericks. They don't go for the Rockets.
They got the Dallas Stars. That's hockey. Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Mavericks.
They go for the Cowboys. Anyways, they were when the Astros were against when the Astros were playing the Dodgers. Oh man, they were talking mad shit.
Well, it turns out they might have cheated that game.
I know. So I'll have to give them a call.
Cousin,
I don't even really care. I'm not a big. I don't really like Dodger fans that much, but
hey, go fuck yourself.
I know.
What's
cool.
the problem?
I don't know. They're just a little.
What's wrong with Dodger fans?
A little rowdy,
huh?
Yeah.
They're always making big lines at Philippe's when I want to go to get a sandwich.
Okay.
Traffic.
I'm glad you recorded
this.
He said Dodger fans rowdy. He said that, right?
Yeah.
Remember when we went and we took him to the Dodger game for his birthday?
I did.
Yeah, I remember when we were drinking. Who got rowdy?
I didn't get fucking rowdy.
Oh, but he's a Dodger fan that day, though.
Yeah, he was. He got rowdy. He was there as a Dodger fan. Go Dodgers! And then he see white people, gentrifier! Gentrifier!
I don't remember that. That did not happen.
That happened.
When did that happen?
And then
You're telling me that I was screaming gentrifier
at white people, yes.
I think you did, dude.
I don't remember
yeah,
this
dude.
all, dude.
No.
You're fucking lying.
I'm not lying. You did this. You did this. And
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
When did we even go to a Dodger game?
Hey, but we're all Dodger fans. We're all rowdy like that.
I don't recall.
Yeah, it's all good, baby.
Your memory's horrible.
When in Rome, I guess, right?
No,
yeah.
I don't recall ever going to a Dodger game with you at all.
What the fuck?
Mike, I think we might have gone.
Dude, it was me, Ash, you, and Mike. You son of a bitch.
Is that when you bought that one hat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And that's when I.
Yeah, but you know me. I got to put on a show.
Yeah.
Dodger fans so
When in
rowdy,
Rome,
man.
bro.
Every time they
contagious.
hit the ball, woo!
Hey, so it's fun to go to fucking baseball games. My bad.
Well, can you understand them why the fans are so rowdy?
Nope.
Yeah.
I wasn't rowdy. I was in the spirit.
You were rowdy as fuck.
I've seen all 18 hours of Ken Burns baseball, okay? I know baseball better than anybody. Don't come at me.
Better than Ken Burns?
That's right.
Impossible.
Not impossible.
No.
Anyway, where's my notes at?
Pull something out.
Shit. I was kind of glad you guys started talking about sports because I feel like that's something we don't really touch on, but I don't really watch a lot of sports.
Going from
there's enough sports podcasts out there anyway.
Yeah, but for the I like how Juan Salazar said this to me one time. He mentioned like a double NCAA basketball game. Just randomly, like a college. I think it was like the final 16 or something.
Yeah.
He randomly said like the top 4. I was like, how do you what? How do you know that? Like, I expect comic books and shit from you. He goes, oh, I just I touch up on a little things here and there on sports just so I don't get crucified.
Left out of the fucking conversation. I
don't want to be left alone.
So
it's true.
He keeps a little tabs on the little things, the little things.
Hey, smart man. Well-read. It's always good to be well-read.
But fucking college sports?
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Some people like college sports a lot more than professionals.
That's true.
Than the pros.
My dad says college sports is actually sometimes funny to watch, like, because a lot of these guys are never.
There's no big deals involved.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys are never going to go pro. So
but when you watch basketball, if you watch basketball a lot and then you watch a college basketball game, and if they're not the top. If they're like a decent team, whatever, you will get kind of, at least I do kind of feel a little frustrated when they're making like little fucking mistakes here and there.
Yeah.
Because you're like, they could have just fucking made this play real quick. But, it just happens when you get used to watching professionals.
I don't know what I was watching, but it was like this like expose on this one player, and like it's like it was like a whole not documentary, but like this whole segment on like this basketball player that like came from the streets and his brother's in jail and he made it out of the hood and this and that and I watched it like, wow, who is it? And it was a fucking college player, played for like fucking LSU. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Who cares?
There's a story I saw online of this teacher for a school. Michael Jordan came. He he worked for a company. I'm sorry. Michael Jordan came and he played he was playing basketball with like a lot of the workers there at this company. The main CEO of the company was this African American guy. He was working there. He had went to college. He had played basketball in college. He was a good basketball player. I forget what position, but so after they're playing with Michael Jordan, I guess it was like a sponsor event or something. Michael Jordan came. And so Michael Jordan starts doing one-on-ones with people.
Balling
like,
everyone
hey,
up?
who wants to like play one-on-one with me? And that guy, the CEO, he beat Michael Jordan.
No, he did.
Yeah.
No way.
Michael Jordan let him win. Michael Jordan's unbeatable.
Well, so there's video. It was on YouTube.
How do you know it's not staged though? Here's what I heard. This is
fakes.
Listen to this. And I brought this up before a long time ago on the podcast. When they were filming Space Jam, they said that Michael Jordan would play ball with the extras. They had a ton of extras.
That up,
And but they said that he was ruthless. That he would just ball everybody up. He would he would block up, blah, get out of my house. Blah, blah. But like everyone loved it because it was Michael Jordan just fucking going to town on everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then it just validates his point.
And who was this guy again? All-American state champion?
He was some guy that played in college. He was
Imagine though, like just being that good and just going around
beat
with
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
how old was Michael Jordan?
He was already. I don't know if he
retired.
was. I don't know if he was retired or still in. Still, I'm pretty sure he was retired. I don't remember the story. I saw this a long time ago on YouTube.
That's like when what's his name? When Spud Webb did that dunk when they were like, "Come on, Spud." He was like in fucking like a suit. Was it? Are you the one that showed me that?
I don't think so. No.
Or was it you?
No.
Oh, maybe it was Guap.
Well, I don't know. I mean, imagine how insane you have to be though.
Hey, what
to go
about
to
that
places.
Connor fight though?
Oh man.
Never lost money so quickly.
That was crazy. I did not think it was gonna go down that quickly.
Me neither.
It was Conor McGregor versus Cowboy. What's his real name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Donald Cerrone.
Donald Cerrone. You know, what's it? Connor. I like him, but then I don't like him because Guap likes him, and Guap's such
So
like
annoying.
a cocky like
so annoying when he
it
was on,
comes to
dude.
that shit, and it's kind of obnoxious. So it makes me not like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
But I remember when he was fighting, or when he was gonna fight, what's his name, the boxer, Mayweather.
Mayweather. Oh my god.
I was watching Conor. He truly is like a master shit talker because he was doing a press conference, and this was for like hype.
Business.
This was all hype.
Business.
All hype for the fight, right? So he's doing like a press conference, right? And then for some reason, Mayweather's dad walks in, and like Conor's just running his mouth, and the dad is just getting riled up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so he goes, Conor, I'll never forget. He tells his dad, he goes, you know what? It's your fault. He goes, it's your fault. Your son's gonna lose. You gave him bad advice. He goes, you should have retired. Y'all should have fucking went into the sunset, but you got greedy. And he goes, and now your boy, your son, he's going to go to sleep. I'm putting him to sleep. He goes, but it's okay. It's all right because when he wakes up, he's going to be a better man. I was like, damn. And the fucking Mayweather's dad is just fucking fuming because, black guys don't take that shit from white boys. But fucking he's from Ireland.
And then McGregor lost to Khabib, and he woke up a better man because he fought Cowboy, and he's a lot humbler since.
That's true. Hey, well,
I don't think he needs to do that talking anymore. He's established that he's a fighter that's going to bring in money and views, so he doesn't need to shit talk anymore. Now he can be calm and
so then why doesn't Mayweather fucking stop then? He just keeps talking his shit.
Well, he's been retired. I mean, I think he has.
Mayweather has no.
I think he has
a
reason. Yeah, he's undefeated.
He has no reason to talk shit anymore.
He's undefeated.
He brings the money.
Yeah.
He's the
But
everyone
that's his
just
reason to talk shit. He's undefeated. If I haven't lost, I would talk all the shit.
Forever
I've
and ever.
never lost.
Didn't Rocky Marciano retire undefeated? Yeah, I think he did.
But no, I'm pretty sure he.
Rocky Marciano retired
That's-
undefeated.
Okay, never mind.
There's another
I
fighter
don't
that
know
retired
why. For
undefeated
some reason,
European.
you thought I was thinking of the guy from Rocky 5, Tommy.
Oh no,
don't know
Rocky
why.
Marciano.
Yeah, I don't
Was
know
a real
why.
guy.
You were thinking of a fictional boxer.
Yeah.
No, he's actually a real boxer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy.
His last name's not Gunn, but it's Tommy something.
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Hearns.
Tommy fucking Italian or something like that.
Tommy
Oh,
Italian.
Jake, the guy from Raging Bull, Jake LaMotta.
No.
Nah, he didn't retire undefeated. He got his ass kicked by
Yeah.
was it I don't know, that famous scene with Robert De Niro. Anyways,
Being boozled?
being
Yeah,
boozled.
Being
No,
Boozled
no,
right
no,
now.
no,
I'm down.
no.
Finish out with
I'm down. You
another
said
game.
it.
I keep
You
getting
said it.
mad light in my face.
Yeah, this is getting a little hot too.
Zzz, I know it's like a heat lamp. I feel like a Big Mac.
I feel fine. You feel like
Oh man.
You got any?
Oh.
what I do actually.
So
Go get
beer?
some, man.
They're right here.
Strawberry Cool Ranch.
Where? Oh, the bean boozled?
Beer.
No, beer.
Oh, beer. I say you got any beans? No, I don't. No, I don't got no beer.
You give me goosebumps.
Wow.
What the hell
is
was
What was
that?
that? Glitch
Those
in
are,
the
those are
Matrix?
the
Ooh, you give me goosebumps.
that's weird. That's what I pressed, but it came out like
Oh shit! It was that demon.
scary.
You gotta get that refried beans, homie.
Man, yeah, but going back to that Connor fight, those shoulders. I've never seen anything like that. The
Yeah.
shoulders.
The shoulder hit. I know.
Is that a thing? Like
Yeah.
in mixed martial arts?
I've never seen that done.
I've seen it once. I've seen it done a couple of times, but never like he just.
It's just crazy because like
times,
I
bro.
don't think what was his name? Donald Cerrone? What's his name?
Cerrone.
Cerrone.
like zero surround.
I can't even. I was a total guess. I can't even believe I got that right, or like kind of right. Anyways, because he hit him 4 times, and like I don't think he knew what was going on. I don't think he realized that like shoulders were gonna be an issue.
The first one did look like it surprised him.
So he was very calm and collective, Don Cerrone,
Yeah.
and he was gonna win that fight by keeping it a fight, maybe taking it down to the ground, being
Right,
you
like
know-
kind of dancing.
Yeah,
Okay,
Connor had
He
2
was like,
rounds
nope.
to finish that fight. If not, he was not
because
gonna
he would have
last
been
5
he would
rounds.
he would have
with
been
Don Cerrone.
out. I was gonna say outboxed, but
he's
like
gonna
out
get, he's gonna get
martial
tired.
arts.
He knows he gets tired. He's known to get tired.
Man,
So,
but, like,
Well,
can
I
you
watched.
imagine?
I
Just
watched.
ran
Joe-
out there and
And then I remember how like he was beating the shit out of him, and the ref should have stopped it.
Oh,
The ref let it go on
Nah.
for a while.
good for the ref.
Yeah.
Good for the ref.
dude, that was
I just
like,
know because like remember they it started right, and they ran together, and they were like together, and then for maybe not even 5 seconds, and when they came apart, homie was already bleeding like
Yeah.
all over his face, and I was like, God damn, this fool looks like he's already been through 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, dude,
I
his
feel
face
like-
looked terrible.
I
Yeah.
feel like Donald Cerrone thought that McGregor was gonna go up for it, like you know how they go the
Yeah.
dab, they do the dabs before they
Yeah.
start fighting, and then
But
Connor
that's-
just
that's-
like kind of just goes in
that's-
quick, so it looked like
So that's not like required to
you don't need to do that.
but it's just kind of like respectable.
A little bit. I mean, a lot of fighters tend to do that. I want to know the like how often that's not done. You know, what's the stats on that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
What's the stats on that?
what's the stats on that? Science. I watched Joe Rogan, so I know a little bit about MMA.
Yeah.
So
Joe Rogan.
Just a tiny little bit. Just a tiny little bit.
remember,
I do watch Joe Rogan.
Guab was talking shit to us.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was like, y'all, he goes, all y'all are just, you guys just watch Joe Rogan one time. You guys think you know about MMA?
It's a good reason to think you know MMA.
And I remember just coming
Top
around.
MMA fucking guy.
I just remember coming around and saying, how'd you know I watch Joe Rogan? That's exactly why I know MMA.
Well, I don't watch Joe Rogan. I listen.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
right.
listen to
I
Joe
watch
Rogan.
him.
Yeah,
I watch him.
I'm with Mike on that one. You know, I don't really like to watch podcasts. I only like to listen to them.
Man, that's a hit.
We're coming for you.
Oh my goodness.
You got to get like pew.
Let's see. I got
No,
Strawberry Cool Ranch.
There we go.
no,
Was it on a record?
we've heard
it
that one.
kind of peaked a little bit.
Yeah, we've heard that one
How about this
before.
one? How about this one? Beer! Oh, it didn't work.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I heard it.
Fuck you, MIDI controller. Anyways, any other subjects?
I don't
Not feeling as fluid.
Yeah.
I know. It's been a long day.
Just gotta loosen up.
You work tomorrow?
I don't have a doctor's appointment, then a dentist appointment.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. Science.
Hey, so. Wow, nah, maybe we shouldn't talk about that.
No, let's talk about it.
Whoa.
No.
Come on.
No, because you said that you
Man.
you went to the doctor with your dad today.
Oh shit. Yeah.
No, because I told you I saw a Twitter page where it's like people who when they get their wisdom teeth taken out and they get all gassed up, and then afterwards they film them and they're always like saying like dumb shit.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. He wasn't like
wasn't?
that. No.
He
was like-
season pro.
He did. I know.
He was
shit.
high. You could
No,
tell.
there was at one point they told me to sit.
Because your dad had to go under.
Yeah, he had to
Okay.
go anesthesia,
Yeah.
and then they called me in to sit like the last. They want him to recover a little bit before they
Uh-huh.
like check him out. So she was pretty much like, "Oh yeah, just come inside. That way, when the doctor tells him anything, because he's not gonna be, we're not sure if he's gonna be too coherent. So we just want you in there so that you can witness whatever they're saying, so you can remember, because he
Uh-huh.
might not remember." And I was like, "All right." So I go in there, and I'm actually working on the podcast. I'm like editing all that shit. And I'm just sitting there, and it just reminded me of when how much my dad used to talk when we were trying to leave like family parties, like when he was drunk and shit, and like how much like I wanted to leave, but he wouldn't. And I'm right there.
But he wouldn't like stop talking.
Yeah, he wouldn't like stop talking. So I'm like, and then it gave me flashback because he's like talking to the nurse, and she's being nice, but you know she had other shit to do, and he's just like still talking and I'm like. At one point, I wanted to tell him, like, yo, like, fucking let her leave.
Wrap
Like,
it up, Pop.
but I was just like looking like.
But
"Ah,
like,
whatever."
was it because of the anesthesia?
Yeah,
that
he was talking a little bit
loopy?
more. Yeah, he was talking. He wasn't talking nonsense, but he was just talking more.
He was just being a little bit more affectionate. than he,
yeah, a little bit. He was just being
a little bit more
open.
friendly.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny, dude.
But yeah, just that was it though. It wasn't too bad. It was not too bad. Damn, what the fuck was I gonna say earlier? I was thinking of a movie. We were talking about Dumb and Dumber.
Good
and
movie, good movie.
Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Good, great movie. Better than Dumb and Dumber.
No, it's
Some
not.
might say.
Kingpin. There you go. That was the question. Kingpin or Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, Kingpin.
Dumb
of
and Dumber all the
course,
way,
all
dude.
the way.
Why?
Everyone knows that.
Because Jim Carrey's performance and Jeff Downer's performance is like it's Oscar worthy, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like
Oscar worthy.
it's Oscar worthy, bro. Like look at see, because like back then that was what, like 94 when Dumb and Dumber came out, around that time. Back then it was very rare for comedic roles to get like critical praise. Like, yeah, it's funny and everyone's laughing, like that's good critical praise, but like I'm talking about, like, man, you have to have really good like timing and like acting chops to be funny. Look at Leo in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's a comedic role, and he's fucking hilarious in it. And Leo is a dramatic actor. He's more known for like serious like dramatic roles and this and that. And when I see Leo being fucking hilarious, that's when I'm like, all right, Leo is a real actor. This motherfucker's got range. Same with Clooney. Clooney used to be like a serious actor, and, he used to do like serious roles. And then he did Oh Brother Where Art Thou, my like favorite movie of all time. And Clooney's fucking hilarious in that movie. That's really that's why I have a lot of respect for George Clooney, because I'm like, man, this guy has range. So now,
free range.
Leo's he's got an Oscar nomination for a comedic role, which rarely happens. But I think I think Jim Carrey's performance, because it's so nuanced and it's like it's not over the top. It's
Isn't the whole movie like over the top?
but it's not though. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, the
but
premise.
for
The
an actor
premise.
who's known for acting and doing crazy,
That's
stupid
why
shit
it's
like
so
that,
fucking good.
I don't think so, because it's him. He's done that so
But
many
he's
fucking
not.
times.
Come on,
so how
compared
about
to
an
Ace
actor who's
Ventura-
hardly done it and then does that and
Compared
pulls
to
it
Ace
off?
Ventura, I would say Jimmy.
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 Carrey.
You call him Jimmy.
Jim
I
Boy.
would say,
You
Jimmy
can call him
Carrey.
Jimmy.
His performance in Dumb and Dumber is a lot more nuanced, because it's almost. And
I think it's all the same.
it's not.
it-
That's
it-
why.
it
Wait,
is.
it's
Well,
almost
that's
it's almost
all
all
the
the
same.
same. Hold on, wait.
What I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Wait,
I
hold
think it's
on.
You
all
don't
the
know anything.
same.
Okay,
I
but
can't
you were
believe
about
you
to
just
say.
said that.
It's like
You're
Steve
about to say.
Carell, all the same. Fuck
It's
Steve
like-
Carell. He sucks at acting.
It's because it's not just
Doesn't.
it's Oh my God! It's
Best Jim
almost
Carrey
like
movie.
Say what?
Best Jim Carrey movie.
Dumb and Dumber. I'm gonna have to say Dumb and
You
Dumber.
ever seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yeah, but it's a serious role.
Still, I'm sorry.
I've never seen it. Everyone says it's good, but
It's great.
Favorite
Truman
Jim Carrey
Show.
movie? Hold on. Mine is The Grinch.
The Grinch is
Oh
good.
my God.
Again, a great, nuanced comedic performance. Many
What was the one
layers.
called when he did Andy Kaufman?
Oh,
Man Over the Moon. Yeah.
Another great performance.
Truman Show.
That was actually a drama performance. Truman Show was good. Ace Ventura 1 and 2, both classics. That's when he hit his stride. Once he did with the mask is fucking hilarious. And but see, Ace Ventura and the Mask, those are over the top, almost cartoony. But Dumb and Dumber
The Mask was a comic
is a
book series
much
before
more
the movie.
grounded performance because it's just these two guys who they're just clueless. They're like the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
And Lloyd is like Mo. He's like the leader. He's like the smarter one. He's the one with all the ideas. But really, he's just as stupid as the other ones. I don't know. I think Dumb and Dumber is.
I think Kingpin's
Tremendously
raunchier, therefore
underrated.
funnier.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Dumb and Dumber doesn't have to rely on raunchiness. Yeah, there's raunchiness in it because it's the Farley brothers. But just Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey should have got nominated for Best Actor and Jeff Daniels Best Supporting Actor. And Jeff Daniels is another one.
I'm gonna go
who's
ahead
a
and void that
dramatic
statement because
actor.
you say that about everything.
Okay, don't fucking talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about.
How many times have you ever said that? How many times have you said
I
that
haven't said
about
it in a
several
while,
actors?
okay?
Yeah, you always fucking say.
So
it.
what? And those are my fucking opinions, and I
Yeah.
fucking think that I'm correct.
So it's just a matter of
They're not
opinion.
misinformed opinions. That's the motherfucker.
So Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
For
I also
best.
think Leo should have got fucking Best Supporting for Django.
Snubbed.
Snubbed. And I put that on Facebook the other day. My cousin was like, "Oh, that fucking movie Django was a stupid ass movie." I was like, "You insane? Just a classic."
Well,
modern day.
he could be the tiebreaker.
For
Okay,
Dumb
You've
and
seen
Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
What's the tiebreaker? Okay, I said Dumb
You
and
need
Dumber.
to watch Kingpin.
Oh, Kingpin. Well, I didn't get to watch Kingpin all the way through, but I did like it.
Well, so there you go, choosing a movie when you haven't seen the other movie.
You
There's no way Woody
So-
Harrelson can out comedic act Jim Carrey. There's just no way.
It's not. He
Impossible.
doesn't need to.
Impossible.
Doesn't need to.
Bearer. Damn.
Supporting
but-
cast.
Oh man. Well,
Well, I've seen them both. I'm the only one here who have seen them both fully.
so was
Yeah.
that thing
All
that
the way
makes you
through.
special?
Yeah.
I mean, I like Dumb and Dumber. I like Dumb and Dumber.
Then you'll love Kingpin too.
Jeff
they're
Daniels,
both
best
great
supporting
movies.
actor. Jim Carrey, best lead actor. Easy.
All right, it's settled. You guys need to
And
go.
best original score. I'm just kidding. Snubbed.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, and best sound editing and sound mixing.
Damn, they
Got
just
snubbed.
swept the Oscars.
And best costume design. It got snubbed for all that.
I
And
know
best
that
original screenplay.
that car. had
There
the
was
best
a-
And
costume.
frankly, it should have got best picture.
There was a thing on the news I saw this morning about the Grammys being the voting. Some guys or they were adding votes and they were choosing who they wanted to have
For the
perform
Grammys, the
or
Grammys
something.
have lost all credibility. The Oscars has almost lost all credibility.
The
More people are
Grammys-
more into the Golden Globes these days.
The Grammys is
Really?
music, right?
Yes.
I saw The Simpsons. There's an episode where Homer wins a Grammy, I think,
Uh-huh.
and he's at
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
in the hotel.
That's Homer's Barbershop Quartet.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. So
Yeah.
he's in the hotel balcony, and then he threw his Grammy right because he wanted to be home with his kids and his family.
Yeah, and he goes, "Hey, don't throw your garbage down
Yeah,
here."
and he throws it back up, and then he gets
No,
knocked out.
first he's at the hotel room,
Yeah.
and then the room service brings him champagne,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Oh, you got a tip?" And he goes, "Oh," and he goes, "Here, take this." And he goes, "Wow, an award show
Oh, yeah.
statue." And he goes, "Ah, it's a Grammy," and then he throws it off.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then that's when they throw it back.
Hey,
don't
don't
throw
throw
your
your
garbage down here.
And then Homer gets knocked out.
And that was back in the early '90s.
Yeah. So
well,
so the Grammys had never been like.
Well, I guess not. Like in the '80s, it seemed like it was a much bigger deal. Like I don't know.
What
Ever since the whole Milli Vanilli
I
scandal.
was gonna say, was that what ruined it?
Yeah, it seems that might have been like
Because
the
that's
discrediting of the Grammys.
That's the danger that the MLB seems to be in right now. Like that's what they're trying to tiptoe around.
is
they're
that they're
Gonna lose credibility because of this whole scandal with the Astros. Because if it comes out to be true, and then the Astros are like,
And
wait
let's
a minute.
not forget the White Sox all the way back in 1919 they cheated in the World Series, but they actually threw the game. They actually lost on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they were in it. They were in cahoots with bookies,
Yeah.
and all the guys who were conspirators for that, all the White Sox players, they all got banned from baseball, and Pete Rose got banned from baseball.
Well, that's what they're saying is the MLB is really treading lightly with this, because if the Astros come out and say
Tread lightly.
they're trying to, like, if they start pointing fingers, and they're saying no teams have done this yet, but there's a potential like outbreak of like, well, this team does it, or well this team does it.
So it's
And
like
then-
murky water.
Yeah,
it's like well, it's it's kind of like
so it might
it's like
ruin
a moral.
baseball entirely.
Well, okay, so the funny, I don't know if I've ever spoken on this, but all the way back when the White Sox cheated or threw the game in the World Series, right? And it got out, and it was a whole scandal. The same thing happened. Baseball almost went under, like as a, because it was still kind of a new business, but baseball was like huge, booming business, like so. What happened was, after they found out that like, oh, it was rigged, everyone was like scandalized, and it was a big like sensation, and they started to lose a lot of ticket sales. And you know who saved it?
Budweiser.
Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth.
I was close.
Babe Ruth.
Babe.
Because Babe.
Budweiser.
So
Babe.
I believe in 1919, they threw the World Series, and then in 1920, I believe Boston traded the Babe to the
New
Yankees.
York.
And then he pretty much, became
Boston.
Babe Ruth. And Babe Ruth was the first guy doing grand slams and this and that. And he was so popular that he single-handedly brought people back and like would just sell tickets.
That's
And he
funny
saved
because at
baseball. That's
Boston,
why Babe Ruth is actually like, he's very significant. He's a very significant
the Boston
sports.
Fenway Park. They have a huge green wall
Uh-huh.
left field. It's easier to hit
Mhm.
left home runs because usually they're right-handed, so they go over the left field.
Oh.
So at Boston they have a huge green wall,
But also too,
doesn't really go over. So at New York they have
yeah.
so like there's not that big of a wall,
Mm-hmm.
so it's you just go over, easy to hit home runs.
Also too, before.
So the Babe had it easy.
Well, kind of, because what happened also around that time when around the White Sox scandal and Babe Ruth getting to the Yankees was also, there was a player that had got killed on the mound. He was at bat, and what happened is, but they only used to use like 4 or 5 balls a game, and they would like fuck the ball up. They would like put it on their cleats and try to fuck it up. They would spit on it, put dirt on it, so it would be harder to see.
My phone dead.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
shit.
I was on a roll.
It's okay.
So the ball.
Okay, so fine. I'll just finish this. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so
You would
they would
spit
do
on
that.
it, huh?
So what happened was, one day, so they were fucking up the ball and they pitched it and they hit this guy in the head and killed him. And the reason why he didn't move out of the way is because he couldn't see it, because the ball was moving so fast and it was so messed up and like brown. It just disappeared essentially. So then they changed the rule. Like every inning, like they changed the ball. Like when the ball gets slightly damaged, they went from using like 4 or 5 balls a game to like 60 balls a game or something like
They
that.
use more now.
And like, yeah, so what happens is you're constantly hitting fresh balls, and fresh balls crack farther than fucked up balls. So there's a word for it. It's called
Crack.
before that change, they call it the dead ball era. So it was really, really hard to hit a home run because the balls would be hard to hit and they wouldn't fly very far. So baseball was actually much more strategic and within the diamond, and it was really about speed and stealing bases and how fast could you run the bases, because the ball would not go very far. So you had to be it was all about speed. It was all about speed.
Oh, shit.
And also stealing bases and how hard you could fucking hit a baseman so that you could be safe. So like Ty Cobbs, who's considered the greatest baseball player to ever play the game before Babe Ruth, he doesn't have a lot of home runs, but he led the league in bases stolen. He has a crazy amount of bases stolen. So when that rule changed and then Babe Ruth came along, you had Babe Ruth, who was a power hitter, but then you also had this ball rule that pretty much gave Babe Ruth a fresh ball every time he went.
Yeah, so you knock it out of the park.
And then people would go because like just home runs, and
Knock
people
it
were
out
like,
the
"Oh
park.
shit, home runs are the shit!" And then that's when baseball became what they call the live ball era, where it became about being a power hitter and hitting
Yeah.
home runs and just fucking.
Well,
Anyways,
Man.
little baseball history for y'all there.
I
and
think
it is a national sport, so I guess we'll get to see in this new decade whether it survives or not. It's probably gonna
Man,
survive.
baseball
oh,
really.
definitely. There's so much
baseball,
money
like,
invested in it, dude. It's like
ba-
gasoline.
Another reason why
Ain't getting
baseball
rid
was
of
so
it.
important to the United States, to call it America's pastime, when baseball was coming up and becoming a popular sport, the United States was not even 100 years old. So, and at that time, people were still trying to figure out
What are we?
what does it mean to be an American, especially because so many immigrants, people coming from other countries. So, if you played baseball, that made you American. You know, or if you this and that. Ken
I
Burns,
wanna
baby.
Be a real American.
Good. All right. Well,
All right. Well,
that'll do it for us here at the Rev and Filo show. Mikey, thank you. I know your
Yes.
camera's off. And
say bye, Mikey.
say bye.
I'll
Say
see
bye,
ya.
Mike.
We'll put like a little a screenshot of you.
Yeah.
Felipe, any last words?
Thank you guys for listening. Catch you next time.
All right. See you guys next time on the Rev and Filo show.
Science.
Hit.
How does it
Science.
do that?
Science.
Buy the merchandise.
Yes, if we had any.
Bye.